Join me as I dive into the world of horror and try to rank the most terrifying movie villains in cinema history. It's a monumental task, ranking nightmares, but it's a journey into what truly makes us afraid. What is it about these figures that captures our imagination so completely? Horror movie villains are more than just characters. They're the very heart of what makes a scary movie truly terrifying. They are living, breathing manifestations of our collective anxieties, reflections of the darkness we fear exist within ourselves and the world around us. They embody our deepest fears, the fear of the unknown, the loss of control, the fragility of our own bodies, manifesting in ways that haunt our imagination long after the credits roll. From the eerie shadows of classic cinema to the relentless slashers of modern times, these characters have become iconic figures in popular culture. Their presence on screen can evoke a range of emotions, from creeping dread and heart-pounding anxiety to outright primal terror. The impact of a well-crafted horror villain can't be overstated. They are the engine of the narrative, the catalyst for every scream and sleepless night. They elevate a film from a simple fright fest to a memorable psychological experience that lingers in viewers' minds. Think about it. A good horror movie can make you jump out of your seat, but a great one, powered by an unforgettable antagonist, leaves you sleeping with the lights on for a week. It makes you check the back seat of your car and question every creak in the floorboards. That's the profound, lasting power of a truly well-developed villain. Creating memorable villains is a delicate art, a complex alchemy of narrative, psychology, and design. A great horror villain isn't just about a grotesque appearance or a series of brutal actions. It's about the story behind them, their motivations, and the specific chilling fear they instill. A compelling backstory can add layers of depth, transforming a simple monster into a tragic, terrifying figure. This complexity, this sense of a lived, albeit twisted history is what separates the truly iconic villains from the forgettable ones that fade from memory as soon as the credits roll. It's the difference between a jump scare and a lingering dread that follows you home. The fear factor in horror films is largely shaped and amplified by these antagonists. Their unpredictability, their unnerving intelligence, and sometimes their haunting relatability make them all the more frightening. A truly effective villain knows how to toy with their victims, turning the ordeal into a psychological game. They don't just attack the body, they dismantle the mind, breaking down their prey's sense of safety and sanity long before the final confrontation. This calculated cruelty makes the experience profoundly more harrowing for both the characters and for us, the audience, watching safely from the dark. The ultimate challenge for filmmakers is to forge a character that's not only terrifying in the moment, but also eternally memorable. You want your audience to carry the silhouette of that villain in their minds long after they've left the theater. It's a high bar to clear, but when it's done right, the result is legendary. That's precisely why some horror villains have transcended the screen to become household names, potent symbols of the terror that the genre so masterfully embodies. They become modern folklore. So what are the ingredients? Iconic horror villains almost always have certain traits that make them unforgettable. They often possess a distinct appearance or a signature weapon, a visual shorthand for their brand of terror. They have a haunting presence, an ability to command a scene even when they're unseen. And crucially, they have a mythos, a story that explains, though never excuses, their malevolent actions. Some are driven by a burning need for revenge, others by a fractured psyche, and a terrifying few by what can only be described as pure, unadulterated evil. Take for instance, Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. He's not just a physical threat but a psychological one. A true master of terror who invades the one place we believe we are safe, our dreams. By turning his victims' own minds against them, he makes fear an inescapable, internal enemy. His burned, disfigured appearance, that iconic bladed glove, and his sharp sadistic wit make him a standout villain who represents the horror of repressed trauma. Then there's Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. He is the polar opposite of the talkative Krueger. An avatar of brute force. His imposing figure and seemingly unstoppable nature make him a relentless force of nature. What makes Jason so terrifying is his silence, his sheer persistence. He evokes a primal fear through his presence alone, a silent, hulking reminder that some dangers don't need to announce themselves to be deadly. He is the personification of consequence. The xenomorph from Alien is another prime example of masterful villain design. It's not just its deadly biomechanical appearance and intelligent predatory tactics that make it so fearsome, but the profound vulnerability of its victims. The claustrophobic, isolated setting of a spaceship, adrift in the void, amplifies the terror exponentially. There is nowhere to run. The xenomorph is a masterclass in suspense, a perfect organism whose structural perfection is matched only by its hostility. And what about fear that crawls out of our technology? Samara from The Ring weaponizes media itself, turning a simple videotape into a death sentence. Her unsettling, jerky movements and ghostly appearance tap into our fear of the uncanny and the corruption of the familiar. She represents a viral horror, a curse that spreads through the very devices meant to connect us, making her a uniquely modern phantom. The fear that horror villains instill can be psychological as much as it is physical. They are often manifestations of our deepest, darkest anxieties. The boogeyman-like figures that hide in shadows, under our beds, or inside our closets tap into primal childhood fears of the dark and the unknown. These archetypes are so powerful because they are universally relatable, a shared nightmare from our collective past. Michael Myers from Halloween is the absolute epitome of this. His featureless white mask and unnerving, silent demeanor make him a blank slate onto which we project our deepest fears. He is the Shape, an entity devoid of discernible motive or emotion. He's the ultimate stalker, embodying the terrifyingly random fear of being watched, of being hunted by something that cannot be reasoned with, something that will never, ever stop. Childlike giggle. The reveal of the most terrifying villain often comes down to personal preference, a reflection of what we, individually, fear the most. But if I had to pick one entity that encapsulates the multifaceted nature of terror, it would be Pennywise the Dancing Clown from IT. This ancient cosmic being's ability to transform into the literal embodiment of your worst fears makes it uniquely personally terrifying. Its cyclical history, its profound intelligence, and its method of salting the meat by instilling fear make it a standout monster in a league of its own. The psychological elements that make Pennywise so profoundly frightening are its insidious manipulation tactics and its ability to play on the deepest insecurities of its victims. It doesn't just want to scare them, it wants to feast on that fear. It isolates them, turning friends against each other and using their own trauma as a weapon. It's not just about a monster jumping out of the dark, it's about the slow, deliberate process of breaking their spirit. Pennywise represents the fear of the unknown, the horror of childhood trauma, and the chilling idea that evil can wear a friendly face. Its presence in the sewers beneath a small town, its ability to lure innocent children with the promise of joy and wonder, makes it a monster that preys on the very concept of innocence. It is the predator disguised as a playmate, the ultimate betrayal of trust. Ultimately, the impact of these horror villains on cinema and our collective psyche cannot be overstated. They are the dark stars that make horror movies truly memorable, often becoming cultural icons recognized the world over. Their influence extends far beyond the screen, inspiring countless other works in media, art, and popular culture, and providing a shared language for our fears. These titans of terror have a lasting legacy, continuing to frighten audiences with each new generation that discovers them. Their remarkable ability to adapt and evolve, mirroring our ever-changing societal fears, ensures their permanent and hallowed place in the grand, dark cathedral of horror cinema. They are the monsters we create, and in turn, they are the monsters that define us. As our journey into darkness concludes, we've seen what truly makes a horror villain iconic. We've dissected their psychology, their terrifying mythos, and the cinematic craft that brings them to life. From the dream-stalking terror of Freddy Krueger, to the silent, unstoppable force of Jason Voorhees, and the shape-shifting dread of Pennywise, these figures are more than just monsters. They are masterfully constructed nightmares, leaving an indelible, chilling mark on the entire genre and our collective psyche. Their stories, though fictional, tap into our deepest, most primal fears, making them all the more terrifying and unforgettable. The true challenge for today's filmmakers is not just to invent new monsters, but to innovate within the genre, creating the next generation of villains that will haunt audiences for years to come. Who will be the next icon to define our fears? Only time will tell. But the conversation doesn't end here. Who is the one villain that truly gets under your skin? I'd love to hear about your favorite horror icon and why they terrify you in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more deep dives into the darker side of cinema, be sure to subscribe and check out another video on my channel, where we dissect the making of a horror classic. Thank you for watching.